So in this video, I wanted to show you how to run the Gauntlet better, in particular, how to run it under 40 seconds. I don't claim to know how to get the really ridiculous times under 25 seconds or 30 seconds, but I can at least get you under 40, and it's actually not too difficult, but it does start with a couple of loadout items that you really need to have. So the first loadout item you should really get is the shotgun. And the reason you want this shotgun is because if you successfully hit someone at all, then you're going to kill them in one shot. And I know that there are only 8 shots in the magazine, but there are actually less than 8 people that you have to hit before you reload, as long as you do the next thing, which is to use arc grenades. If you throw the arc grenades and you hit them in exactly the right place, you will be able to wipe out groups of 3 enemies with one arc grenade. So let's actually show you how this all works in practice. This is going to be a slow motion walkthrough, and then I will cut to one of my better runs that I've done before. Have actually come very close to beating Captain Lastimosa. Not quite. I think I've done a 35:60, whereas Captain Lastimosa's best time is 35:45. The run I'm going to show you actually isn't that good. It only came close to beating Sea Grenier, but let's talk about how to start. So if you're going to take the right-hand wall, which I don't recommend, but if you're going to do that, then you should definitely jump off this wall so that you can jump off that edge and get a running start and have a lot of good velocity as you go out. I prefer to take the left wall, and there's a little trick here, which is if you cut this corner exactly right, you're actually going to get a slight speed boost that's going to take you faster through the rest of this. So let me show you that part of it. So I did not get the boost that time, and consequently I didn't get to the top of the ring up there. But the way you do this is off that wall, up over there, and then around that ring. So let's try that again. The jump kit is so unpredictable in how it reacts to these corners. Okay, so once you get up and around that wall, you jump off that wall, and then you jump onto this wall. And as you jump onto this wall, you start cooking one of your arc grenades, and then you throw it exactly in the middle of those guys down there, which looks something like this. Now, the arc grenade is tricky because it inherits your velocity. And the other thing that's tricky is if the arc grenade goes underneath this little platform, then it will not do any damage to the guy on the platform. They're very serious about their grenade physics, and if the grenade goes under there, then the blast does no damage to the guy standing on this. So you really want to aim directly for the center stone in this cluster of 7 stones here. And let me go back and show you again. You actually have to aim just a tiny bit early or nearer to yourself than what you want, because as you're running on this wall and you throw the grenade, it inherits your velocity and it ends up going a little farther than you expect. So something like this. Yeah, that did not work right, and I don't know what the fuck happened there, so let's do that again. I'm out of grenades. So that was good placement of the grenade, but it was not good placement of myself. I ran into the grenade explosion. So you have to be high enough up off the wall to actually not get hit by your own grenade when you do this. And Again, I'll try and show you approximately what that looks like. That's pretty close to perfect right there. The grenade hit somewhere around these two stones. I was high enough that I didn't get a big penalty to my shield or my speed from hitting my own grenade, and that's approximately how you want to do this. So once that grenade has landed and you've jumped high over it, you are unfortunately going to probably land, you know, a little closer to those guys than you would strictly want. What you want to do is, once you hit the ground over there, jump again and then hold your crouch button to slide. And slide under the barrier right there. And as you're doing so, be aiming for the guy who is just beyond to the left side of that pillar. Something along these lines. Okay. As soon as you've hit him, in fact, as you're hitting him, as your crosshair is sweeping by here, the next thing you want to be doing is running forward and right at the same time in order to be climbing up these blocks and getting ready to jump on that wall. As you're running forward and to the right, kill him, and then as you get on the wall, start aiming downward to be ready to kill the guy behind him. Slide under, go head into the right, kill him on the wall. Now as you're jumping over that pillar, look down and shoot him as well. And jump again so you get on this wall. Once you're on that wall, you're going to start cooking a grenade and jump to the next wall, and then throw your next grenade down directly in the middle of those three guys to kill all three of them. The reason that you want to be on the right-hand wall, if you try and throw your grenade from the left-hand wall, there's a column in the way. It's going to make it really hard to get that grenade down in there the right place. So don't try and throw the grenade when you're on that wall. Instead, transition to that wall, to the right-hand wall, before you do it. But start cooking the grenade as soon as you jump off here. Now, that was lousy, because I threw the grenade and it hit right here. You want your grenade to hit right there in the very middle, and it'll take out all three of these guys. I'm not going to go back and get more grenades to show you, but... As you come around here, there's a guy right there. There's a long hallway here where two guys on the left and one guy on the right. The trick to this hallway is you want to be on the opposite side of the wall from the guy that you're shooting at, because that way you'll have a much easier time the gun naturally aims to the left when you're running along a right side wall and naturally aims to the right when you're running along a left side wall. So after you've thrown that grenade down, remember, you're on the right wall when you throw the grenade down. You transition back to the left wall and shoot the guy right around the corner. Then you transition to the right-hand wall, shoot the guy on the left, and transition again to shoot the second guy on the right. So something like this. Okay. This last part is definitely the hardest, and they've also intentionally made it difficult to practice this part, because when you fall off the wall or when you short jump down in here somewhere, you're going to have to run all the way back here, up this set of stairs, up that set of stairs, and back onto the pedestal here in order to get the momentum you need to continue this part of the game. So Respawn definitely tried to make this part as hard as possible, and also make it really hard to practice this part too. Real shitty move on their part. They probably thought nobody would notice. This part, I don't really claim to know how to do it well. There's probably a way to do this that I don't know how. I like to jump really high and sort of come down and shoot the first guy, and then jump off that platform where the first guy was to the right and start wall running and shoot the second guy, and then double jump to get through the finish. Kind of looks something like this. Yeah, except sometimes I fuck it up. It's really hard to get right. And of course, they've made it as difficult as possible for you to practice this section in order to make it more frustrating and stupid. Hopefully I'll be able to cut some of this dumb shit out in editing. So something along those lines. Oh, Captain Lastimosa. A 6.42 time I was flying, huh? Yeah. Alright, so why don't I cut to the decent run, and then you can see how to run this gauntlet decently, and we can get on with the rest of the story.
Flying that time.
So damn close. 0.05 of a second. Well, I guess that's good enough for government work. We'll end the gauntlet and start the real game.
All done with the gauntlet?